thank you so much for being here with me again. Today I'm recording from my studio. If you didn't know, I'm a tarot reader, but I'm also a soul-centered hairstylist. If you are interested to learn more about that, I will put some information below, or you can go to my Instagram to learn more about what I do. But let's just get started with today's video. As always, I will invite you to join in with me with a simple meditation. Feel free to close your eyes, find a comfortable position, and take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. Let the world around you fade into the background and focus your mind on your breathing and the sound of my singing bowl. Notice any vibrations, any sensations, and any changes in your body. Take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. Notice if you feel any changes in your body. And when you are ready, feel free to come back to center and back in the video with me. So, I will do a little smoke cleanse with this Palo Santo. And for today's, So for today's question, I'm actually very excited for today's question. It's, what do we need to learn before we start our next relationship? So I think this is a very powerful question to ask for us singles to, take our time and use the time that we have before we start our next relationship to better ourselves, to learn any lessons that the Spirit wants us to learn, any lesson that we can get from the universe. And we'll get into the reading to hear more about what the Spirit wants to guide us into. As always, I will put the card selection here. Feel free to pause the video if you need to. Take a deep breath in, slowly breathe out. There's no need to rush. Take your time. Pick one of the group, and if you're ready, we'll get started with the reading together. Hello, group number 1. Let's get started with your reading. The question today is very simple but very powerful. I'm asking the cards, I'm asking the universe, what do we need to hear? What do we need to learn? What lessons do we need to learn before we move forward into our next relationship? Let me just channel the energy. I feel called to take 2 cards to start with for you, group number 1. Let's see what we get here. We have Priestess and we have Boundaries. So we have Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? And Boundaries, where do you need to establish better boundaries? So I feel like why you are currently still single is, I feel like you've been single for quite some time, or you just recently separated, but you've been thinking to do so for quite some time, or you are well, this is for singles, so of course you are not in a relationship. but I do feel like the main reason that you feel, the main reason why you are not currently in a relationship is because some part of you actually don't want to be in a relationship, because you know it's going to take too much of your energy, too much of your time, while you actually have a lot of things going on in your life right now that needs better attention. I feel like career-wise, you're going very well, group number 1, and I feel like a lot of your energy are going into that, into your career or your education or your passion project that actually brings joy to you. And I do feel like you are creating a lot of boundaries around romantic relationship. Either you have been hurt in the past and you don't want that to happen again, or you just don't want these external energies from the people who are not worth it to bring a negative impact into your work or into your project that is currently your priority. We're gonna get into your tarot reading. So I'm gonna take 3 cards to start into your situation. What lessons do we need to learn, and what is your obstacles? Where you are right now, what we need to learn, what your obstacles, and any message to help us move forward. We have the Fool. We have 10 of Swords. We have 5 of Swords. And we have the 8 of Wands. So from this Fool here, I feel like it's not like you are not opening yourself up for a new relationship. I mean, you are here with me right now, listening to my reading about a love relationship. So of course you are open to a love connection. If not, then you wouldn't be listening to my reading right now. So you are open to something new. But every time you jump in, every time you take that leap of faith, you trust someone new again, you let someone new into your life again, you feel like you are back in this 10 of Swords place again. You feel like they're hurting you. You feel like they're disappointing you again. You start comparing them to the person who hurt you in the past. You start bringing up all these bad memories about your past wounds, about your trauma from the past, and every time that happens, you build up your wall higher again. You build up that boundaries higher again. So you're just unable to move forward because you have built a wall so high around you that nobody can really get in, which in a way that does protect you, but that also keeps you away from building a new relationship again. I'm going to take some more cards to clarify the situation. Why do we feel this way? I see the world. I see the world. This is actually amazing because, group number 1, I love your energy. Even though your love life is a bit of a mess, but everything else in your life is perfect. I love that powerful energy coming from you, that successful, powerful person energy coming from you. And you realize that too from this world here. You have everything you need. You have everything the world has to offer. So why do you need to be why do you need to bother a love relationship that will just potentially hurt you again in the future. And that kind of mindset is keeping you from actually meeting other people genuinely again, pile number 1. So from this 5 of Swords here, it is reminding us that sometimes we need to lose a battle to win the war. Sometimes we cannot always get what we want, but if we look at the bigger picture, we are actually getting our main goal, even though there are some things that we have to sacrifice. And I feel like love is a lot like that too. I feel invited to invite you to ask ourselves, what is it that we are looking for from this relationship? What is it? Is it stability? Is it a partner? Is it stability from a partner? Is it a lifelong commitment? Are you just looking for a fling? What kind of relationship are you looking at? And because we are dealing with someone else, they are gonna have their own intentions. They are gonna have their own needs and their own wants. And of course we're gonna have to balance that out between our intentions and their intentions, what we want and what we need, and what they want and what they need. So of course there's gotta be some things that we will need to sacrifice in order to make space for their needs to also be taken care of, for their wants to also be addressed. And I do feel like because you have all these boundaries so high, it keeps you from seeing these other people that comes into your life as who they genuinely are. It's keeping you from meeting them in a genuine way, in seeing them as who they are instead of just someone who potentially hurt you. I think that's the key word here. I feel like every time you see someone new, every time you meet someone new, you don't see them as a person. You don't see them as someone, a whole human being with their own flaws and their own goodness. You see them as someone who can potentially hurt you in the future again. And that is why you have all these boundaries so high, and that is why you are keeping yourself from really stepping in with a leap of faith to really trust them fully again. I'm not asking you to just trust anyone that comes in your way next, but I am asking you to at least open your heart enough and admit your trauma, and tend to your wounds, so that whenever a new person comes into your life again, you're not seeing them through the lens of trauma anymore. You're not seeing them with the bias of someone who has been hurt before. You can see them fully as who they are. You can see them as a whole person again. And that is the message that I'm also getting from this Eight of Wands. You need to let go of all the expectation that has been burdening you all this time. Letting go of all this trauma and all this hurt that you've been keeping on your back for so long, just by yourself. And to let someone in to help you process that healing. Now, this person that you invite to help you process your healing, it doesn't have to be a new romantic relationship. It can be a friend, it can be a family, it can be, if it's an opportunity that's open for you, or you have the financial capacity to do it, it can also be a therapist that can help you go through these traumas, so you can start to build your boundaries in a healthy way instead of in a very paranoid, self-preserving way that you are doing right now. So you can You can see the trauma as what it really is. You can see what happened in the past as they really were, instead of looking them from the point of view of a victim who's been hurt so many times before. And I'm not saying this to invalidate your feeling. Your feeling is very valid, but it doesn't make you you. You don't have to go through the rest of your life carrying that trauma around you all the time. You are allowed to process this. You are worthy of this deep, powerful healing that you need in order to process that trauma and just let go of all that hurt, all that fear, and start to see yourself again in a clear, full, objective picture, and see a new person again in a clear, full, objective perspective again. I feel like that's the bulk of the message for you. But I'm just gonna take some more oracle cards just to see what comes up. Any advice, any message, any wisdom that can be helpful in our healing journey. I'm gonna take 2 cards. And I'm also gonna take this card because this card is very fun. It's the No Filter Oracle deck, and this card is very witty, very annoying. As you know, those friends that doesn't hold back from telling you "I told you so." So I feel like this is gonna be very, very interesting to see what the cards have to say. So from the Oracle card, we have the Lock and we have the Mist. So the Lock, I feel like it's again about your boundaries, and the Mist is usually about illusion, about something that is there but it's not really there. And I feel like this is what's happening right now with your boundaries. Like you are building all these boundaries for something that might not be there anymore. You're building all these boundaries to protect you for something that is not out there to hurt you anymore. And I'm not saying this to invalidate your feelings. Again, your fears are very valid, but you don't have to live through your fears. I feel like it is time that we take that leap of faith to look over this gate that we built, these walls that we built, to see what is on the other side. There used to be war on the other side. There used to be people coming for you. There used to be monsters haunting you from the past. But I feel like if you're brave enough to take that step again to see beyond the wall, you will see that all these scary things are not there anymore. It was there once, but it's not there anymore. They don't have the capacity to hurt you anymore. They cannot hurt you anymore. So you are free to step outside of the wall and start your new adventure again. I'm gonna take one card. I'm gonna put this here and we're gonna take a look into that. Yeah, and I see from this World card that you are such a powerful person, and I don't think a lot of people realize that you are battling all this negative thoughts within your head, all this trauma, all this hurt within your head. So I think it will be very helpful for you to learn to start trusting someone else to help you with your healing. Again, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be a friend, it can be family, it can be a therapist, whatever it is, because you deserve to have your love life giving you a feeling of fulfillment again, just the way that the other aspects of your life is right now giving you a feeling of fulfillment and joy. This Oracle card See, it's always annoying. It's always like a punch in the face. It can't always be everyone else's fault. Don't be in the business of keeping score. See group number 1. Again, people may have hurt you in the past, and I'm not saying it's okay for them to do so. They're a piece of shit for doing that, but that doesn't mean that you need to carry that throughout your life. You know, like, don't keep score. Don't let someone else's fault becomes your own downfall. You know, like, it's time for us to process what happened in the past. It's time for us to let go of all that hurt. 2021 is the year we embrace ourselves fully and be our full highest self, you know, like just letting go of all that trauma, letting go of all that fears, and be able to welcome ourselves as fully as we are, and to welcome someone else's who is coming into our life as fully as who they are. I feel like that's all the reading I have for you. Group number 1, thank you so much for tuning in with me. As always, this is a collective reading, so I cannot get into too much detail. This is just a general reading, but I hope it does give you some clarity, some wisdom into your situation. As always, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And if you feel called to do a personal reading with me, I'm always open to do a private reading. All the info will be on the description below. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you again on my next reading. Hello group number 2, welcome back to our reading. As I've mentioned before, the question today is very powerful. It's what do we need to learn, or what do we need to learn before we move forward into our next relationship. So this is for you, my singles out there. Just like with the first group, I'm gonna start with an oracle card. Message do we have for you today, group number 2? Beautiful. Take a break. Life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. So I do feel like from this card here that you're very tired. I feel like your separation is still very recent, or if you have been single for quite some time, you do still feel the burden that you have from the past relationship, and you're just not ready to jump into another one yet. And you're just really enjoying this moment of peace, of just being with yourself, connecting with your highest self, connecting with your body, enjoying your time alone, not having anyone to call you, asking you where you are, have you eaten, can we meet, la 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 la. No more of that annoying nonsense anymore. Like, we can sit back, relax, enjoy, take a deep breath in, slowly breathe out, and just, be with ourselves. And I do feel like that's the energy that I'm getting from you. You're not in a relationship, and you're open, like you don't mind a relationship, but it's not the first thing that comes into your mind. Like, it's not something you're actively looking for, because you're actually very happy right now. You're actually very content where you are. You're very comfortable where you are standing right now. I'm gonna take some cards. One card, 2, to represent your current situation, what lessons we need to take, any obstacles that might come or is coming your way, and any message for us to move forward. We have Justice, we have the Knight of Swords, we have the Eight of Cups, and we have the Chariot. Oh, okay. So this is quite interesting because I'm guessing because like you're not really looking for a relationship and you're actually comfortable where you are right now. Like the cards are also not very there's nothing urgent that you need to take care of in terms of what you need to process or what you need to learn in regards of relationship. I have the Justice card here where you are right now. So you are at a balance. Everything feels okay-ish. Of course, it's not like totally good or completely well, but you know, it's okay enough. You're not really complaining a lot about anything. Of course, there are some things that that's still bothering you. Maybe your ex is still calling you and you don't like that, or maybe like maybe there's something about your past relationship that you haven't forgiven, but it's not really on top of your mind. It's not really, you have come into closure with everything that happened, and you're actually very, very comfortable. What lessons we need to learn is the Knight of Swords. It's interesting because these cards, I don't get a lot of romantic energy from your cards today, group number 2. I feel like from this Knight of Swords here, the learning that you need to do is actually other things that is not related to love. I do feel like the universe is giving you the space and the time right now to pursue anything else that you want to learn. Like, I do feel like the learning that you need to do is actually literal learning, whether it will come for you, whether for you it means taking a master's degree, a higher education, or maybe learning a new skill, or just learning something new to fill your mind, you know. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with, I feel like it doesn't have a lot to do with romantic relationships. So yeah, so basically, like, the universe is giving you that space and time to pursue anything else that you want to pursue that you didn't get to do when you were in a relationship before, or that you didn't get to do in your situation before, and that's why you are not actually looking for a relationship either, because you're actually enjoying all this free time that you have to do that. And from this Eight of Cups, what boundaries might come our way? Actually, no, I don't see any problem with you, group number 2. Like, I feel like everything is in balance, even from this Eight of Cups here. Like, Eight of Cups is usually about letting go of illusions, about letting go of illusions, about seeing things from what they are. But I do feel like from your energy, you are currently already in that state of not being bothered by things that are just not important to you anymore. I'm not saying that love life is not important. I'm just saying that I do feel from you that right now your priorities is in other things other than love life, and that is why you feel that, you know, like, all this drama that comes that usually comes with a romantic relationship is not something that you want or something that you need. That is not something important to you in your life right now. And I also got the Chariot, so I do feel like you are coursing through life full speed, group number 2, and I just love that. I love that. I love that. You are unhinged in the best possible way. Like, you don't have all this burden behind you. I'm not saying that your relationship was a burden, but I think it's natural for us when we're in a relationship. We kind of shift our minds, and we do allocate a certain amount of brain energy into the relationship, so we're not at 100% on our. Sometimes we are not always 100% on the other aspects in our life, because we are also tending to that relationship, to that other person, finding balance with that person. And because you don't need to do that anymore, you are in an alignment with yourself. You're just going full speed, going into your goal, going into your career, going into your education, doing things that you want, like doing all the work that you want. Amazing, powerful energy. I don't know why you're even here, group number 2. Like, everything's going well for you. So I'm gonna take some cards from the Oracle deck. I'm gonna take 3, I think. Just any wisdom, any message, anything that the cards wants to say to us through this channel that we have here. I have 3 cards. Yep, that's 3. Ooh, okay. We have the shot, we have the fiery, and we have the snow. So it's interesting. Sometimes the client is asking about a relationship, but what comes up is actually about career, or the other way around. We ask about career, and what comes up is about relationship. And I think that's what's happening to you. Group number 2, we're asking about relationship, but what is coming for you is actually a lot about career, and a lot about your life journey, about your life purpose. I feel so. I'm sorry if it's not exactly what we expected coming in, but I do feel like this is something that you need to hear. I do feel like something is coming, like a very big opportunity, a very not exactly big, but an opportunity that you've been waiting for in terms of either your career, your project, your education, or something else basically related to that areas that you've been waiting for, that opportunity that you've really been waiting to jump into in order to propel yourself forward, to move your career forward. And I feel like you also have all that energy within you to take that shot. Yeah, I mean, like, you're on fire. You're going full speed with everything in your life right now. And you don't want relationship to be holding you back from that. So I do think that why this message is coming for you is because before you are ready to be in a relationship again, I do feel like I think our lesson is to enjoy our time alone, and to make the best of what we can with our time alone, and be as productive as you want to be, and be as productive as you've been waiting to be, that you didn't get to do if you were in a relationship. But now that you are free, that you are on your own, that you don't have anyone else to occupy some of your mind, this is the lesson that we get to do, that we get to take. The lesson is about connecting with yourself, to explore this creative side that you have to explore, this productive side that you have in terms of work, in terms of project, in terms of education, that you really want to explore more, that you didn't get to do, but now that you are alone, that you have a lot of free time and a lot of free energy, you now get to do it. So I think this is a very positive message. I think like that's the main message that we have for you, and that is the lesson that we need to take, is to take the opportunity to take that opportunity that comes our way and make the best of it. I'm gonna take 2 more cards from no, actually I want to take one from this oracle deck. I will take one just last clarification and just last wisdom or any message from this oracle deck. No, it's crazy. Before I flip it over, I have a feeling this is the card that is gonna come up. The card is play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. I feel like being single is actually something joyous for you, is something you actually celebrate, you know. So celebrate that time that you have. This is your celebration. Celebrate that time that you have as much as you want, like however it is that you decide to do. Whether it is to pursue that project that we were talking about, whether it is to just have a lot of time for yourself, to take a break, to just have fun, whether it's to meet new people without all this expectation and boundaries holding you back, whatever it is, just take your time to celebrate, take your time for yourself, you know, take a break from all that hardship that comes from being in a relationship, all that burden that might come from being in a relationship, and celebrate that time that you have for yourself. I do feel like that's the message that we have for you today, group number 1. Let me just take this this last oracle card for you. This is a very fun card. It's a no filter oracle deck, and it's such an annoying deck. It's like one of those friends who keep telling you, "I told you so," you know, in a very annoying but also in a charming and lovable way. You know, like, I love this. So, what message? What do you want to say to group number 2? What does Spirit want to say to group number 2? Don't expect the world to adjust to you. I'll take one more card. Some things are just not worth saving. So I'm not gonna take a look too much into that, and I'm just gonna let this open to your interpretation and how you feel that resonate with your current situation. Don't expect the world to adjust to you, because some things are just not worth savings. That's your last wisdom that we have for you today, group number 2. And thank you so much for joining me in this reading today. As always, this is a collective reading. This is just a general reading. I cannot get into too much detail into each and every one of you. So, as always, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And if you feel called to do a more personal reading into your situation, a deeper look into your situation, I'm always open to do a private reading. All the information will be down on the description below. And see you again next time. Bye-bye. Hello, group number 3. Welcome back to the reading. As I welcome you, I will just burn this Palo Santo to clear the energy again before we get into your reading. And as I've mentioned before, the question today is very simple but very powerful. What lessons do we need to learn before we move forward into your next relationship? Now we get some very interesting message for group number 1 and group number 2. So I'm very excited to see what's in store for you, group number 3, on this reading. Okay. Let's jump right in. I will take one oracle card for you, group number 3. Actually, I feel called to do 3. That is weird. Oh, no, just 2. Let's just take 2. Because too much cards, it's gonna be too loud. Ooh, what message do we need to learn before we move forward into your next relationship? We've got the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution, expression. So, very powerful message, both of them. Okay, let me just take a sip of my water because I've been talking all day and it's tiring. Okay, so group number 3, I feel like you are moving forward into your next stage in your life. Like, say you're leveling up in your life in terms of romantic relationship, maybe in terms of other aspects in your life as well, but definitely about relationship. You're definitely moving forward into your next level in your journey. That's what I get from this initiation card. So whatever it is that happened recently, it really changes how you feel about a relationship, it really changes your perspective about relationship, especially romantic relationship. It really changes what you expect out of your partner. It really changes what you expect out of yourself in a relationship, or what you expect from the relationship itself, or how you see relationship. Maybe you discovered something new about yourself that really changes the whole connection to a relationship for you. So I do feel like the word come out really stood out to me. So I do feel like for a lot of you, you've come into a new understanding about yourself in terms of romantic or sexual relationship. Maybe you've discovered that. So I'm just shooting in blanks here. I'm just guessing here and there. Of course, this is not. This might not be true for everyone, but this might resonate with some of you. Maybe you just learned a new perspective into your sexual orientation, maybe, or maybe you just learned a new perspective into how you see a committed relationship with another person. Maybe you've always been monogamous in the past, but now you are feeling that maybe being in a polyamory relationship is something for me. Or maybe quite the opposite. Maybe you've been treating a relationship as something more casual in the past, something just more to pass the time and have fun with, but maybe now you are actually ready to jump into it with full commitment. So whatever it is, I do feel like you are moving, crossing the moving through the threshold, crossing the threshold, and into that new stage in your life, into that new phase, well, not phase, but into the new perspective, that new understanding that you have about yourself and how you live a relationship. And with this share your voice, I do feel like a lot of your lesson before we start a relationship will be a lot about coming in with yourself about this new perspective, about this new understanding, and be very comfortable about that new understanding. And when you are ready, maybe to start sharing that with the people closest to you, and start manifesting this new idea into the world. So the universe really gets that this is what you want out of this relationship. I'm gonna take some cards into your situation. What do we need to learn before we start our relationship, our next relationship, for group number 3? where you currently are right now, what we need to learn, any boundaries, and any message or advice into moving forward. We have the Emperor. I love that. We have Judgment. We have the Moon. And we have the Three of Wands. So from this Emperor here, I feel like, again, it's just a confirmation about everything that we've talked about you finding yourself, about you getting into a deeper understanding with yourself. You are really sure of yourself right now, pile number 3, and I love that. I love that you have figured this out for yourself. I love that you are you have been given the opportunity to admit that about yourself, and you have been given the space to process that and understand that about yourself, and I love that. And I feel like you're very sure about that, more sure than you've ever been about anything else before. You're just very sure about how you feel about this new understanding of you and relationship. I love that. But the lesson that we need to learn is Judgment. If you see at the card here, like there's this angelic figure. Like I try not to get into a certain culture or a certain perspective when describing the people, but that's the kind of image that I'm getting. Like someone who is very very pure and very clear about themselves, and underneath are a lot of people who are looking up at them. So I do feel like this is the lesson, especially because you are crossing this threshold. You are stepping into something new, and you are starting to share this new identity or this new understanding or this new perspective that you have, or this new this new intentions that you have about relationship, and you start sharing that with the people around you. And I feel like the lesson will be about to not control, but how to be at peace with how people perceive you, because they are going to perceive you differently. Maybe some people are not going to be comfortable with the new you. Maybe some people are not going to be supportive about your choices, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you are actually those lucky ones that have very positive, supportive people around you that is supporting you and just looking up to you, and just very happy for you that you figured this for yourself, that you are happy in this version of yourself, in this image of yourself. I feel like that's the lesson. Before, I feel like it will be easier to start a new relationship when you have already been at peace with this new identity that you built for yourself, and not just about how you feel about yourself or what you think about yourself, but also what other people think about yourself. Not in a sense that what other people think should concern you, but more, or that just because they don't like your choices, then you have to make peace with that before you move forward. That's not what I'm saying at all. Actually, what I'm saying is more about, even if other people doesn't like what I do, even if whether they like me or not, I need to be comfortable with myself. I need to be ready with myself. I need to be sure with myself. I need to be that emperor that is very sure of themselves, that knows what they're doing, that knows what they need to do, that knows what they want. I feel like that is the lessons that we need to take, group number 3, before we before we start to invite someone new into our life is to make sure that we as an individual already have a great foundation of where we're standing before we ask someone else to join our life and start creating a new balance with them again. I see the moon. I feel like for quite some time, like this cards come out as a boundaries, but I don't feel that this is something very troubling you. I feel like you're actually just enjoying this moment of being with yourself fully, with this new version of yourself, and you're just enjoying that. So I do feel like not boundaries in terms of what's keeping you from seeing other people, but more in a what do we expect before you go into your next step of inviting someone else, is just to enjoy your moment alone. The moon is about those time in the night where everything is peaceful, the moon is shining bright, giving light to the people around you, and everything feels magical, and everything feels new, and everything feels different than under the daylight. That's the moon vibe that I'm getting from this card right here on with your energy. I feel like that's what we're doing right now. We're just enjoying that. We're enjoying that, how the world feels so much different. The world looks so much different now that we see ourselves in a different way, and everything looks more magical, everything looks more beautiful, and we're just enjoying that for now. And we are gonna move forward later on, but I do feel like maybe it's not anytime soon, not because you're not given the opportunity to, but more just not because you're not given the opportunity to see someone else, but because you're being given the opportunity to just enjoy yourself for a while. And when you are ready, we will step out of that comfort zone. We will step into the crazy mean crazy. I'm sorry for laughing, but it's just one of those dark humor when you're just realizing how crazy and fucked up the world is, but we've got to face them, right? So we're just enjoying this moon moment before we step into the real world again and incorporating this new self and merging into the society again. I'm gonna take some oracle card for you, group number 3. I see Libra, I see Shadow, and I see the Dream. Libra, Shadow, and the Dream. So Libra here, I feel like it's about balance. It's about finding that new balance within yourself before we move forward. But I also see, but it can also be in a Libra as in the horoscope sign, the astrological sign of Libra. Maybe like the person coming next to you might be Libra, Sun, Venus, Moon, or Rising, or you could be a Libra, Sun, Venus, Moon, or Rising. So that can be a confirmation for your reading, group number 3. But I also see the Shadow. I feel like you are not. Yes, you are sure, but you still have some shadow. You are not exactly out of the cave yet. That's why you haven't fully crossed the border yet. That is why this card is showing up, because you are still in that cave. You are sure with yourself, but you are still battling with the shadows that are still in your cave. You are not exactly out into the real world yet with this new self, with this new understanding of yourself. And I do feel like, as I've mentioned before, for the next foreseeable future, before we we move forward into your next relationship, you're gonna be doing a lot of shadow work for that. A lot of shadow work into not connecting, but acknowledging your shadow selves, acknowledging your past, the things about yourself that you don't fully agree with, the things about people around you that you don't fully agree with, and how you can come into a peaceful understanding with everything, and just find that balance again. And with this dream card here, I feel like this is also a reflection of the moon card. Like, you are given the time, you are given the safe space to process this within yourself before you move forward into the real world. So the card is just more of a confirmation that it's okay to take your time, it's okay to take things slow, there's no need to rush, there's no need to jump into the situation right away. It's okay to just enjoy yourself in this peaceful safe space, in this utopia within your dream world, to fully explore everything about yourself before you truly feel ready to move forward. I'm going to take one last card from this deck. Any last message, any last wisdom? Yeah, in Brahma, where are you being called to journey to? This is a powerful question. Where are you being called to journey to? Where do you see your life journey take you next? This is the kind of questions that you need to reflect before we actually move forward into your real life. You know, to go deep within yourself before we go outside, and just enjoy that moment within yourself, being sure and being at peace with yourself before we come outside and see other people with their own expectation, with their own views, with their own beliefs, with their own values, whatever it is, and just be at peace with ourselves, so that when we do cross a threshold, when we do step outside of our cave, of our safe space, these people won't bother us anymore, because we already have a strong foundation, and we already have a clear path on where we want our journey to take us. I think that's the message for you, but before we close your reading, I'm going to take one card from this no filter deck. This is a very fun deck. This is a no filter oracle deck, and it's like one of those friends that keep telling you "I told you so" in a very cheeky, annoying, but playful, lovable way. So I love that about this oracle deck. Oh, okay, it pops up. Oh, okay, 2 cards pops up. Let's see. Again, I think this is a further confirmation about everything that we've talked about. Set your rules before you break them, and make it the right time. So I'm not gonna get into too much detail into what they're saying, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and take from it what you may, whatever resonates with you from that sentence. And that's the reading that we have for you today, group number 3. Powerful reading. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, this is just a collective reading. This is just a general reading. I cannot get into too much detail into each of your situation. So as always, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If you feel called to go deeper into your situation, I'm always open to do a private reading. All the information will be down on the information below. Oh no, down on the description box below. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you again next time. Bye bye.